Good Friday morning. I'm Matt Carruthers, and welcome to another installment edition of everyone's unanimous favorite 30-minute horse racing program. It is time for Blinkers Off. I have been waiting for this day for months and months and months. It's the time of the year where we start to dominate again. Oh, opening day Keeneland, opening day Woodbine. We're 22 days away from the Kentucky Derby. We got preps galore to discuss. $1 Million Wood Memorial at Aqueduct, the TVG Illinois Derby at Hawthorne, and the Sandia Derby crosstown. This is where we kick the you-know-what. You know that. I know you're excited about this program to get you into an exciting, eventful weekend of racing and to help me along the ride over the next 30 minutes. Well, we'll be talking to my friend Simon Bray on location at Keeneland. But a man, he's the sort of the eyes and the ears of this industry. He's the purveyor of this, the Pollock Report. Ray Pollock in studio. What do you think of this, first of all? Welcome here, and this is pretty cool, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Very nice studio. It's great. Good to be here.
I'm talking about you as the bee.
Oh, the bee. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, she said, your producer said you were going to do something like that. That's great.
Because I'm allergic to bees. So if you were going to sting, I would appreciate you sting somebody else.
Well, I think it's more about buzzing than stinging.
Okay. Oh, you're okay. You're not. Okay. Or you're not a hornet or a wasp or anything like that. Welcome to Southern California. I know you got a little lost making it here to the studio.
Yeah, LA traffic is bigger than Kentucky for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Maybe it's 8 million people or so.
All right, Pollock Report. It's how do I go there again? I just punch in on my computer or my BlackBerry.
Paulick report.com. We cover the international racing and breeding scene, sales, races, breeding, just about everything. And we started out in 2008 in June, and we've been going strong ever since.
You know, one thing I like about you is you're aggressive. You have an opinion, and you're not afraid to voice your opinion. I do that as well, and some people don't like that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you've run, and not to name any names, but have you done anything at the Pollock Report, maybe an owner or a trainer or a rider or someone in the industry didn't care for too much, and they really let you have it? Has that happened?
Yeah, it has. It has. And you know, it's as Leroy Jolly, I think, once said, this is not a game for people in short pants. If they can't take the heat, they get out of the kitchen.
So it doesn't bother you, right? You got to be thick-skinned in this game, don't you?
Yeah, you have to be, including you and me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's no room for insecurities. There's no room for insecurities. I know there's not a lot of buzz going on right now. There's buzz in terms of the big prep races, as I mentioned, as we're getting so close to the Kentucky Derby. But just in terms of weekly type of buzz, there's not a lot going on. Although I think you have some good news that you want to share with our viewers right now. That's obviously good news for the industry.
Right. Yeah, handle in the month of March was up about 10%, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was the second month in a row. It was a tough.
It's because of us, right? It's because of TVG.
Well, I think it's because there's a lot of interest this year in the Triple Crown races.
Yeah.
The prep races, probably more so than usual. Let's go back to the Breeders' Cup last year and see how deep that field was. They've all come back. So they're familiar horses to a lot of people.
Well, and the economy is doing better.
The economy is doing better, and weather's been good. I mean, geez, we had 80-degree weather.
That's true.
So.
Okay. Are you ready to do some handicapping?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll talk to Simon.
Simon.
You'll be at Keeneland. You just got to travel around to the Derby preps, right? You're out here for the Sandia Derby. You're at the Florida Derby.
Florida Derby, the Rebel Stakes.
You had 20 across the board on Hero of Order, right? In the Louisiana
I did
Derby?
not. No, I did not have that horse.
No. How aggressive was that?
You know, he shouldn't have been that big a price.
I would say the same thing. Yeah. He was the pace setter and the Risen Star for most of that race. He led, ended up finishing fourth. All right, let's begin with a doozy. It's our spotlight race for Saturday. It's the TVG Illinois Derby. It's a Grade 3. It's a $500,000 event. And don't you think, morning line favorite currency swap, just told by my man Joaquin in research that the also eligible is the 15 and 16 scratched. Leanne Davis waiting patiently with the fine flyer to see if somebody else scratches over the next 24 hours. This is as good as it gets from a betting standpoint.
Yeah, deep field. Yeah, it's a deep field. Very deep field. You know, there's not really a standout. I mean, Currency Swap is the favorite, but I don't like him that much.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of it? I mean, okay, he needed the race at Gulfstream on the 16th of March. He runs against Gemologist, who we're going to discuss. He's a morning line favorite in the $1 Million Wood Memorial, but he was crushed by him. He was beaten 7 lengths. It was only a 5-horse field, and the horse is by High Cotton. I kind of question him at 1 1/8 as well.
Right, and Hawthorne's a track. You got to have some stamina to get through that track. So it can be a very tiring track.
Well, speed traditionally, well, at least the last decade or so, has done fairly well.
Yeah.
Into this race. You have Pretension, who's kind of an interesting horse in this race. I mean, what about, let me ask you about Z Rockstar, because that's the big buyer horse in this race.
Yeah.
Oaklawn Park, he goes 144 for a mile and a 16th. The track was so slow, you had maiden claimers go 150 that day for the mile and a 16th. Crushed Explain, who's on the AE list, just mentioned being scratched from this race. I mean, was that an aberration? What are your thoughts on that performance and having him moving forward, being a factor in this race, 10-1 morning line?
Well, I think one of the biggest things Z Rockstar has going for him is his trainer, Donnie Von Hemmel. Very experienced horseman. You know, he's won Breeders' Cup races now. He's a top trainer in the Southwest, so yeah, he knows what to do with a good horse.
Okay, so Z Rockstar horse, I think, might get a little play because people obviously value those numbers and that 96 buyer coming in. Selection in the TVG Illinois Derby.
I like.
You have a pick, don't you?
I do. Our entourage. I think that
the 11.
Yeah, the 11 horse.
Okay.
And I don't think you're going to get 9-2 on him, which is the morning line. I would be willing to take as low as 3-1 on the horse. I just think.
Really?
Yeah, I just think he's been running against better.
This was turf, you know. This was a grass race. This dirt at Hawthorne.
Yeah, but I don't think
I
don't think the Remsen was a grass race, was it?
Yeah, well, he was fifth. I know he's only beaten 2 legs.
He was a good fifth. Though.
He was a good fifth. Right. That's true. Okay. So what do you like? What do you like about him?
Well, you know, Pletcher spots his horses as good as anybody else in the business.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got a very deep stable. He's had to figure out where to send all these horses. I think he knows his horses better than I do. I know that for sure. And I just think he looks at this race as one that it does not have any real grade stakes horses in it. This is an up and coming horse. He's had to start this year after the layoff. And turf, dirt. Hey, if you can run on turf, I think you can run on dirt most of the time too.
Well, let's be honest. Do you have a relationship with Mike Rapoli where he said, "Hey, you picked my horse on Blinkers Off. Everyone watches this program. Free Pirates booty for a year."
I'm waiting for the box of Pirates booty to show up.
Is there something like that going on? All right, let's take a look at the value meter here. Okay, so you would play our entourage 9-2 morning line down to 3-1. I don't care for the morning line. Well, in our entourage, the problem I have I respect that you think our entourage is the horse to beat. We just talked about how this is as good a betting race as you'll ever find. There's not going to be a better betting race in America on Saturday with a field of 14 with a 4-1 morning line favorite than the TVG Illinois Derby. It's not the race, Ray Pollock, to settle on 3-1. It's just not the race to settle on that price.
I'm still trying to beat the favorite, though.
But
So
you're
that's a
going to
good
be
thing.
the favorite at 3-1. The 3-1 will be the favorite in
think
this
so?
race. Yeah. So I can understand using the horse in some exotics, but to make in a race in which anybody can win, I never think it makes much sense to go with a horse who's going to be your favorite.
I think when the race is over, you'll change your mind.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You think you get $8? Maybe I was swayed by one Jim Miller at Hawthorne. He's been talking about this horse for some time. I'm going to go with the Gorilla, Morgan's Gorilla, in this race, the 12. Leading rider at the fairgrounds, Rosie Napravnik in. Yep. And I look back on the 3rd of March, maiden win, final time 43-4. The track was not very quick. He got the lead 46-4 was fairly quick. You know, the Gotham was that day. Final time of the Gotham was 43-4. Same final time as what Morgan's Gorilla did in that maiden special event. The half-mile pole in the Gotham, which Hansen was just off of, 47-2. Morgan's Gorilla 46-4, half mile in a maiden race. It's tricky. Went 45-1 that same day. Right. Track wasn't very quick against some really, really good competition. The fractions, the final time stacks up beautifully. I'm looking for a horse who can be forwardly placed in the TVG Illinois Derby, and I'm looking for a price. And I get 10-1 morning line. I'll settle on 7-1.
I was going to say, I don't think you're going to get 10-1 there either.
Okay.
The morning line
and I think value is 7-1. I get $16. That's fair. The Grade 1 Wood Memorial. This is a 9 furlong event. And take a look at the field of 8. And I'm guessing if you're, well, maybe not, but if you're anti-currency swap, it sounds like a lot in the TVG Illinois Derby. That means you don't put a lot into what gemologists did in that allowance when crushing currency swap at Gulfstream on the 16th of March. Is that true?
I'm picking against them.
Okay.
I think
Here's that race.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome comeback. Let's face it, Pletcher just gets so many good horses. He knows how to train them. This was a tremendous performance in a comeback race, and he's a very good 2-year-old. He hasn't lost yet, but I don't think he's been facing as tough as Alpha has.
Don't you think Javier Castellano was a very difficult decision early on in this race? Because the outside horse is talented, quick, hasn't trailed in 2 starts. Talking about the lumber guy, you have to respect Hushin. He's one of the best trainers in the country, really. And this horse is going to be in front. And the only horse who potentially could pressure the lumber guy is Gemologist.
Right.
So I think Castellano has a big decision to make early on. How much do you respect the lumber guy if you're Javier Castellano and Todd Pletcher?
Yeah, I think he's going to try to sit second. I don't think he's going to try to go with the lumber guy.
Okay, so you let him go and just hope that he comes back to you.
Yeah, I think the lumber guy, again, hasn't been facing as good. He's got a lot of speed.
Hasn't.
No, he's got a lot of speed. He's only sprinted.
But Hushin isn't a guy to put a horse in a grade 1 like this off of a win in, what is it, the Miracle Wood. I mean, this is a pretty ambitious spot for a guy who's usually not this ambitious. No?
Well, and he's also training for the former chairman of NYRA, who probably likes having
Barry
horses
Schwartz.
in big races. So
Okay.
Barry
Fair.
Schwartz has the horse there. I'm sure he probably pushed him into that decision a little bit, or at least tried to influence it. So I think he's overmatched, but I think he's going to be the speed of the race.
Okay. So you're going to go with Alpha, who also has not been beating up on much.
No, he hasn't, but he's looked very, very good doing it. He's a very consistent horse, other than the Breeders' Cup when he kind of flipped his lid in the starting gate and tired. So.
All right, I like my Adonis. I think this horse is training great. He's third off the left. He ran second to Hansen. And one thing I noticed back the day at Aqueduct, March 3rd, Gotham Day, there wasn't a front end bias, there wasn't a closer bias, there was an outside bias. Horses from the outside dominated, and my Adonis broke from the rail. I have actually the charts in front of me. I don't have time to go through it, but post 8, post 5 in a short field, post 8, post 10. Hansen was what, post 12. It was an outside bias in my opinion. I thought he ran against that bias on the inside, training well out of it, has that tactical speed to stay close, might get the trip sitting second or third. I'll go with my Adonis. I think 9-2 is fair. I like this horse quite a bit to pull the, I guess, upset in the $1 million Wood Memorial. Santa Anita Derby, that's why you are here right now. 9 furlong event. Kind of lost a little bit of its luster. Bodemeister for Baffert, who was second to Creative Cause in the San Felipe, going to go on the Arkansas Derby on the 14th of April, which I think is genius because I don't think there's all that much out in Arkansas right now. Here's the San Felipe. What do you think of Mike Harrington taking the blinkers off a horse that ran almost as well as any 3-year-old we've had so far this year and winning this race, earning a 102 buyer in the San Felipe, saying that he's wandering around down the stretch a little bit. Again, Mike Harrington knows 85 times more about it, or more than that than I do. But I thought you put the blinkers on to keep a horse focused, not take them off.
It's funny you say that's exactly what I was thinking when he said he wanders in the stretch.
Yeah.
Usually that's why you put him on.
Right, right.
But Mike's a good horseman.
Right, okay.
Right. So I think it's a very strange move, but at least he didn't wait until the Kentucky Derby.
I think that's what he's saying. He's like, I'm going to experiment
Let's
now.
try and see what happens.
And if it, I already have the earnings, and if it backfires, then I just, I take them off for the Kentucky Derby. Bob Baffert, I know you were out at Santa Anita. Have you spoken to Bob? How's he feeling since the heart attack over in Dubai?
I did talk to him yesterday morning. He looks good.
Good, great.
He said he's really got to change lifestyles as far as diet, exercise, that sort of thing. And he said he was pretty scared when it happened. But he's feeling,
imagine.
Yeah, he's feeling much better. He really raved about the hospital that he was in and how well he was taken care of by Sheikh Mohammed. Very grateful that it happened in a place like Dubai where they had very good care.
And obviously he's owned this race, the Santa Anita Derby. I know. Being completely serious right now. Reading that. He said I drink 5 Diet Cokes a day. I drink about 5 Diet Cokes a day. He said I cut back on my coffee. I drink 3 or 4 cups. I probably drink 8 to 10 cups of coffee. So something that hopefully he's down to 1 Diet Coke a day and 1 cup of coffee. So wish him the best. Obviously Bob Baffert. And I'll have another in this race. This is a horse that I think worked between races at Santa Anita, right, on the 3rd
That's
of March.
right,
It worked 110. Everyone was like, wow. But what do you make of the Bob Lewis? You can look at it 2 ways. It was really his first start on a fast dirt track, and it was his first route race, and he wins for fun, has a big figure at 43-1. That would be the positive spin. The negative spin would be that was a race in which Liaison was favored, clipped heels, rider. It was a very eventful race that did not bother your winner. I'll have another. Doug O'Neill bypassing the San Felipe, and I'm guessing because of the layoff, that's why you see kind of these stamina-induced drills for this horse. You see the mile work, and most recently 2 7-furlong works.
It's actually good to see mile workouts. You don't see those that much anymore, and I think my biggest concern with this horse is the layoff. I don't know if he missed some time at all because of just a setback of one kind or another, but He's a very good horse. He was very well liked at sale by some guys when Dennis O'Neill picked him up down at OBS.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. And Doug has not had that many chances with good horses, but we've seen him win a lot of big races.
All right, you like, I'll have another. I just think Creative Cause is the best horse in the race, and I think he probably wins with Rosario for Harrington. Blinkers off. I don't think it matters. Picks recaps for last week. Let's get through this as quick as possible because I did not do very well Dubai Day. Pretty upset with producer Danielle for not making the Florida Derby one of our races because Take Charge Indy was my selection. I've been waiting for that race for 2 months, but I don't take advantage of it on this show. Royal Delta disease trip probably didn't matter. Yeah, let's just get through this. My ROI now is awful thanks to Dubai World Cup night. I might be down about $60 now, Ray. I need a good weekend here. I need a good weekend. Well, Simon was with me as well, but how did he do? Oh, what a guess! I didn't even know that. Down 50. Again, we've been doing it for over 3 months. Right. It's $2 win place every race. So it's not.
Yep.
It's not panic mode yet. Is it good? No. Play of the day. We'll see if we can make some money. New York, where I've been pretty good the last week or so after struggling most of the early part of the year. I'm going to go race number 6, the 11-horse Crib Note. There's not much pace in this race. He's going to be close. Third behind a pretty good Bill Mott horse named Lunar Victory, who I think you might see in a stakes race soon. He ran second to Star of New York, a horse for Dutrow, who looked really good in beating him by 3 lengths in the 8th of February. Good form, not much pace. Rajiv Mirage, Rick Violet, outstanding betting race at Aqueduct Race 6 and Crib Note, the 11, 10-1 on the morning line. Time for a one and only commercial break. When we come back, Ray and I will chat with Simon Bray, who's at Keeneland in Lexington, Kentucky. Opening day at Keeneland. We'll talk to Simon about the Grade 1 Ashland for Saturday, the Transylvania, their feature today. Oh, is it beautiful at Keeneland Racecourse. Look at the folks already there for the opening day festivities. Simon in a moment. Welcome back to Blinkers Off. Opening day at Woodbine and opening day at Keeneland. Todd Schrupp, Simon Bray, Christina Oliveras, Tom Amos with coverage throughout the day, and Simon Bray, kind enough, he's kind of a regular on this show, to join me once again on Blinkers Off. Simon, it's me and my man Ray Pollock, and this is a live shot, right? You can speak to me now, right? Yeah, okay, so there's not a cloud in the sky right now in
Absolutely
Lexington.
Gorgeous. No, this is absolutely real behind me. It's the passage to the right of spring. We are finally here on site at Keeneland, and that drive down Manawar Boulevard this morning as I was driving into Keeneland Racecourse. Clear skies, temperatures low 60s just to set the scene for the weekend. Those handicappers tuning in. And a gorgeous, gorgeous afternoon schedule
great,
for
tomorrow
for the Ashland as well. Well, it's spring colors, Matt. You've got to go with the pastels. Lilacs, the tangerines, and the yellows. The Easter spring colors, so I'm donning my spring purple.
And you know me, I'm skeptical about everything. I don't believe anything I read. And Ray and I were arguing here a few moments ago. He told me that the purses at Keeneland are nearly $600,000 a day, and I said that's impossible. I just don't believe that. That's not true, is it?
It's absolutely 100%
really?
true.
Wow.
Some
okay,
of the big
I believe
highlights.
you.
Yeah, speak over 600,000. Look at the Toyota Bluegrass. That's 750 alone on April the 14th, one of the biggest days of their meet. We've got the Jenny Wiley, the Commonwealth, and the Shakertown. I know we're going to talk about the Bluegrass a little later on in the show because that's shaping up to be a very good prep. We had a defection out of the Transylvania today going to the TVG Illinois Derby, but we've got a big field in the Toyota Bluegrass coming up. The Makers 46 mile, going to feature Tour Allure, who ran so well in the Breeders' Cup. So this is a solid meet. It's always good. 15 racing days, quality racing, quality competition, and lots of great wagering opportunities.
So who is that? Well, let's begin with the feature, the Grade 3 Transylvania. Is that Saturday launch?
Saturday launch is scratched. That's right. He is going to go to the he's going to go to the TVG Illinois Derby. Kenny McPeak reported earlier this morning. So Saturday launch is out. So we're left with the field of 6, a small but competitive field. Be interesting to see how the turf course plays. As you know, Matt, being a weather geek, the winter here has been very mild all winter long in the Kentucky area. Not much rain to talk about. Intermittent showers the previous 3 days. Conditions going to be absolutely perfect out here today, including a fast main poly track.
That always bothers me a little bit because I am a weather geek, but I'm just kind of a geek dork in general. So I don't think I get full credit for being an overall well-rounded dork. State of play. I'm against state of play in this race. The John Pataglia Memorial didn't excite me all that much. I'm with you and Tom. I think Monastic is clearly the horse to beat for Tom Proctor. He had a terrible trip in his last start. If he can run back to that race 2 back, he wins.
He is. I mean, I saw some quotes from Tom Proctor earlier this week. The problem with Monastic, he's very green, he's very rank, he's very aggressive, and that's not a good thing in turf racing. As you know, 90% of turf races are run slower the first quarter than they are the last quarter. So that presents a problem with a horse who's got the idiosyncrasies of Monastic, a horse who's rank and aggressive in the early stages in these small, compact turf fields. But with that said, I think he learned a lot last time. Julien Leparoux rode him last time. We're going to show you a TVG backtrack later on this afternoon, a key backtrack of the trip that he suffered into that first turn when he was ranked. I think he got a lot out of there. Leparoux remains aboard. He's been the spring leading rider in 2 out of the last 3 years. I think the bettors go to him. His horses are always overplayed a little bit here, but rightly so with his numbers that are supported up at the end of the day. But Monastic, I think, will get the perfect trip. There's a speed in here. Even with the Scratcher Saturday launch, I think Monastic gets a perfect trip to settle in behind.
Hey, quick question, Simon. It's Ray Pollock here. What do you think of Rock Hard 10 as a sire? He's the sire of Monastic, and he hasn't been what I would say red hot.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't lit up the stallion rankings as we probably would have thought with all the promise that he showed. You know, he was a former Paulson horse. I was lucky to work around him. He certainly got the pedigree by Rock Hard 10 out of a Chris S. mare to really like the grass. He might be one of those late development sides, right? You know, you saw, remember Unbridled years ago? I mean, he was very, very quiet in his first couple of years at stud, but after that, he kind of took off and things went in the right direction. But I think he might end up being a better turf sire when it's all said and done. And that's the sire of Monastic, as you said.
All right, Simon, let's jump into the Saturday feature, the Grade 1 $500,000 Ashland. Always nice day number 2. You have a Grade 1 event. And your heavy favorite is going to be Stephanie's Kitten, last seen winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf Race, 2-year-old Filly Turf Race, November 4th at Churchill. But she hasn't raced since, as I just mentioned. And there is zero pace in this race, right? I mean, there's a bunch of runners with talent, but are very slow early. That's accurate, isn't it?
That's exactly accurate. That's a very, very good statement. Stephanie's Kitten drawn to the outside here for Wayne Catalano, trying to emulate She Be Wild, Dreaming of Anna, some good 2-year-old fillies that he trained to go on and win at 3. The end goal here for Stephanie's Kitten, you got to remember, the Ashland is a key prep for the Kentucky Oaks, but the end goal here for Stephanie's Kitten is Royal Ascot, the Coronation Stakes. So this is a comeback race. She might be good enough to win this race, but first start off the layoff, with the lack of pace in here to close into, I think she's a bet against in here. I'm going to go to the inside. I'm going to go to the 1 Dixie Strike. I like this filly quite a bit. Yep, she's 8-1 on the morning line, I believe. Dixie Strike, a half sister to Inglorious, who won the Woodbine Oaks and the Queen's Plate last year north of the border in Canada. She's actually the winter book favorite for the Queen's Plate right now is Dixie Strike. I think she loves the synthetic surface. She's 2 for 4 with 2 second-place finishes. You saw her performance in the Ontario Lassie against State Breds last year. I think she gets the perfect trip. I like that effort last time out after a slow start. She's going to break sharp today, be a little closer. And look for her to upset.
Simon, if that's not enough, Blinkers Off researcher and contributor extraordinaire James Lee also likes Dixie Strike quite a bit.
Oh, I got no chance. I got no chance.
Yeah, probably not.
No chance there.
Last question about this. A lot of loving. She's won 3 in a row against lesser company, but maybe she goes to the front in a paceless race combined with good form. She has a chance, doesn't she?
She does. She's not the quality horse in this field, but she's the horse with the tactical advantage over the other competitors in here. She could clearly win this race. She might not be the best on paper, but the race circumstances are going to shape up in her favor.
Okay, and you like it. Opening day Keeneland, give me your best bet before we let you go.
Okay, race 6. You go to race 6. It's a maiden. Non-winners are 1, A other than, and I'm going to go with, race 5. Race 5.
Okay.
Check that, Matt. I'm going through my past performances.
Okay, I understand.
Race 6. It's race 6, number 3, Gleaning. I was going to save it for later on in the show because I'm doing quite a lot of research on that and presenting you with some good information as the pun of the day. But race 6, number 3, Gleaning, at 10-1 on the morning line with Julien Leparoux. You never see him at 10-1. And when you do, it's at maiden special weights, and they usually win.
All right, Simon, as I say, you'll enjoy yourself, but of course you're going to enjoy yourself. You're at Keeneland right now. Beautiful weather, great racing. Thank you so much for coming on, Simon.
Okay, Matt, thanks. You'll be here next week.
I will be there next week, and I think you'll be there with me as well. Ray
I hope so, yeah.
Before I let you go, Leparoux, who's been dominant at Keeneland for 6 years, he's in a ride in New York for the most part.
He is, and I've heard a lot of trainers are going to go to New York that would normally be in Kentucky. So the purses there are attracting jockeys, they're attracting horses. It is going to have an effect on other circuits.
All right, you know what I'm going to start doing next week?
No.
Well, it's about time. I mean, I always take on the world anyway, but literally I'm going to take on the world. It's going to be me versus you out there. We're going to have a different Blinkers Off viewer give me their play of the day. We'll keep track of ROI. It's me against the world beginning April 13th. That's a Friday the 13th, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. I'll be at Keeneland in Lexington. Ray Pollock, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I think I'll see you next week as well.
It's always a pleasure, Matt. Thanks very much.
Enjoy your stay in Southern California. The one and only, the Pollock Report, Ray Pollock. This has been Blinkers Off. See you next time in 7 days.